The time is precisely 6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Anjana Dudamgoda and read by Ramesh Piris. The headlines. The Prime Minister welcomes the new Indian High Commissioner and assures continuous cooperation. Tuition classes for A-level exams prohibited from midnight. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka releases the Financial Stability Review for the year 2023. Blood donation campaigns held in view of the 73rd anniversary of the Navy. Operation Yuktiya nets over 17,000 suspects. Liquor prices to increase from January 2024. In foreign news, world population up 75 million this year, standing at 8 billion by 1st of January. And in sports, Cummins the hero as Australia beat Pakistan to win the series. Now the local news in detail. New Indian High Commissioner Santosh Jha called on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees today. They held a detailed discussion on economic ties and cooperation between the two countries and examined ways and means of expediting the proposed joint projects. They discussed the possibility of more Indian investments in the energy sector, including solar and wind power, joint projects on Trincomalee oil storage tanks, ports, railways and other sectors. The Prime Minister thanked India for the assistance provided to Sri Lanka to face the current economic crisis by extending debt restructuring facilities and providing relief material, food and medicine, and also for the support given to obtain the IMF package to solve liquidity issues. High Commissioner Jha, recalling his tenure in Sri Lanka from 2007 to 2010, and said he considered it a great privilege to be in Colombo once again to work for further strengthening bilateral friendship and cooperation. He stressed the need for early steps to implement India-Sri Lanka Economic Partnership Vision and the 14-point program agreed by the leaders of the two countries. The Financial Stability Review of 2023 encapsulates the developments in the financial system, the risks and vulnerabilities identified thereof, and the policy measures taken by the Central Bank and other regulatory institutions in addressing such risks during the review period, which primarily covers data up to the end of September 2023. The electronic version of the publication can be accessed through the Central Bank website cbsl.gov.lk. The Sri Lanka Navy celebrated its 73rd anniversary, giving pride and place to social responsibility initiatives and religious programs. In an extension of these efforts, the Navy organized blood donation drives for the 1st to the 28th of December, spanning all naval commands. A large group of naval personnel attached to the naval commands voluntarily participated in these programs by donating blood for a noble cause. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news. In a sweeping 12-day Operation Yuktiya, law enforcement agencies have apprehended a total of 17,837 suspects, making it one of the largest crackdowns in recent years, according to official police reports. Among the detained individuals, 850 are currently undergoing further interrogation under detention orders. The operation yielded substantial results in the battle against narcotics with 10 kilograms of heroin, 6 kilograms of ice or crystal methamphetamine, 5 kilograms of 288 kilograms of cannabis, 2,110,500 cannabis plants, 118 kilograms of mawa, and 71,271 narcotic pills were seized and taken into police custody. Furthermore, the operation targeted individuals involved in illegal assets, leading to the investigation of 186 suspects, while 1,187 drug addicts were directed to rehabilitation centers. Also, the Police Narcotics Bureau and the Special Bureau jointly arrested 73 suspects out of 4,665 individuals listed as island reconvicted criminals. Moreover, a total of 1,375 suspects from the same list have been apprehended by these bureaus. The prices of all liquor products are expected to increase. Accordingly, the prices of all Distilleries Company of Sri Lanka plc or DCSL brands of liquor will be increased by 90 rupees, 50 rupees and 20 rupees per 750 milliliters, and 375 milliliters and 180 milliliters respectively. The increased prices are to come into effect from the 1st of January 2024 following the imposition of the revised value-added tax. And that concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala.
And moving on to the main news story. Conducting tuition classes, seminars and workshops for the 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination will be prohibited from midnight today until the conclusion of the exam. The Department of Examinations has also announced that the distribution of model question papers and publishing of model questions via electronic and print media will be prohibited during this period. Legal action will be taken against individuals or groups engaging in such activities. The 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination is scheduled to take place from the 4th to the 31st of January 2024. And that came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala.
This is Watchlight.
In Watchlight this evening, with the high rainfall in the catchment areas around Kalaweva, emergency sluice gates were opened 16 feet each on the instructions of the Bovathan irrigation engineer. According to the irrigation engineer, with the opening of the emergency sluice gates in Kalaweva, about 13,443 cubic feet per second of water are being released. And that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Moving on to the World News Bulletin, and first the headlines. World population up 75 million this year, standing at 8 billion by 1st of January. Russia launches massive missile attack on Ukraine, 12 deaths reported. Google settles $5 billion consumer privacy lawsuit. And now the world news in detail. According to figures released by the U.S. Census Bureau today, the world population grew by 75 million people over the past year, and on New Year's Day, it will stand at more than 8 billion people. The worldwide growth rate in the past year was just under 1%. At the start of 2024, 4.3 births and 2 deaths are expected worldwide every second, according to the Census Bureau figures. The growth rate for the United States in the past year was 0.53%, about half the worldwide figure. The U.S. added 1.7 million people and will have a population of New Year's Day of 335.8 million people. Officials said Russia on Friday unleashed one of its biggest missile attacks on Ukraine of the war so far, killing 12 civilians, wounding dozens more, and hitting residential buildings in Kyiv, the south and west of the country. 10 people in Kyiv were trapped under rubble at a warehouse damaged by falling debris, the city's military administration said. The governor said a maternity ward was damaged in the city of Dnipro, but no casualties were reported. Alphabet's Google has agreed to settle a lawsuit claiming it secretly tracked the internet use of millions of people who thought that they were doing their browsing privately. U.S. District Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers in Oakland, California, put a scheduled 5th February 2024 trial in the proposed class action on hold on Thursday after lawyers for Google and for consumers said that they had reached a preliminary settlement. The lawsuit had sought at least $5 billion. Settlement terms were not disclosed, but the lawyers said that they have agreed to a binding term sheet through mediation and expected to present a formal settlement for court approval by the 24th of February. Back to the headlines of the world news. World population up 75 million this year, standing at 8 billion by the 1st of January. Russia launches massive missile attack on Ukraine, 12 deaths reported. And Google settles $5 billion consumer privacy lawsuit. And that concludes world news.
Development news.
In development news, the new Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, affirmed the Indian government's unwavering support for the advancement of the maritime and aviation sectors, as well as the development of the northern region of Sri Lanka. He made these observations during a meeting held yesterday with the Minister of Ports, Shipping and Aviation, Nimal Siripala de Silva. And that was development news.
Moving on with sports news.
In sports, it's cricket. A fired-up Pat Cummins bagged 5 wickets and 10 in the match to earn Australia's nail-biting 79-run win in the second test and clinch the series against a battling Pakistan today. Set 317 for victory, the visitors put up a stellar fight as they chased their first test triumph in Australia since 1995. But they were dismissed for 237, with the last 5 wickets falling for 18 runs. Australian skipper Cummins was a chief destroyer, taking 5 for 49 to go with his first innings 5 for 48, only the second 10-wicket haul of his test career. Mitchell Starc chipped in with 4 for 55 as the tail collapsed after Shan Masood made 60, Aga Saman made 50 and Baba Assam 41 gave them a fighting chance. And that was sports news.
On the first day of the new year 2024, when you make your first deposit in any SPE, you will receive a token gift. May this new year bring you happiness, joy, and abundance of savings. National Savings Bank.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, 360 Aesthetics proudly announces the inauguration of its cutting-edge aesthetic center situated at the newly unveiled Havelock City Mall. This establishment marks a significant milestone, introducing a holistic 360-degree approach to aesthetic, beauty and wellness experiences. Under the expert guidance of Sri Lanka's leading cosmetic and aesthetic physician, Dr. Sara Fasi, popularly known as Dr. Cherry, 360 Aesthetics emerged after 2 prosperous years at 360 Wellness. The doctor-led medical center stands fully equipped, poised to deliver an all-encompassing suite of aesthetics, beauty and wellness services, showcasing the latest techniques and state-of-the-art devices. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
On the first day of the new year 2024, when you make your first deposit in any SPE, you will receive a token gift. May this new year bring you happiness, joy, and abundance of savings. National Savings Bank.
And now in economic news.
In economic news, the Hambantota International Port has welcomed over 6,000 tourists to Sri Lanka in the latter part of November and during December. The passengers arrived on 5 cruise liners that called at the port. The Asmara journey docked on the 29th of November, carrying 620 passengers. The luxury cruise liner Mein Chef 5, which arrived in Sri Lanka from Muscat on 10th December, called at HIP on 11th, carrying 2,220 passengers. A group of disembarking passengers from the luxury liner got on e-bikes to go sightseeing in the Hambantota area, keeping with HIP's Green Port Drive. This is the cruise ship's second call for 2023 and its third call at the port, counting the visit in May last year. And that was Economic News.
Weather report.
And finally, moving on to the weather report. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the eastern and Nuva provinces and in the Polonnaruwa, Mahathali, Nuwara and Hambantota districts, while heavy showers about 75 mm are likely at some places. Several spells of showers will occur in the northern province and in the Anuradhapura and Kandy districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at several places elsewhere of the island tonight. Fairly strong winds, about 30 to 40 km per hour, can be expected at times in the eastern slopes of the Central Hills and in the northern, north-central, northwestern, eastern, Uva and southern provinces. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamu and the western provinces during the morning. And that was the weather report. Now to conclude this news bulletin, recap of the main news headlines. The Prime Minister welcomes the new Indian High Commissioner and assures continuous cooperation. Tuition classes for A-level exams prohibited from midnight. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka releases the Financial Stability Review for the year 2023. Blood donation campaigns held in view of the 73rd anniversary of the Navy. Operation Yuktiya nets over 17,000 suspects. Liquor prices to increase from January 2024. In foreign news, world population up 75 million this year, standing at 8 billion by 1st of January. And in sports, cricket, Cummins the hero as Australia beat Pakistan to win the series. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and back to your Friday evening's regular hostess, Saunthi Thawang, to keep you company till end of transmission. Over to you, Saunthi.